Walk down the cereal aisle of any grocery store, and you will be bombarded by bright colors.
But there is one box specifically to seniors. It is usually a bright yellow box, often featuring a friendly bee.
It proudly displays a red banner that says "Heart Healthy" and claims it can lower cholesterol. For decades, millions of older adults have started their day with a bowl of this cereal. We have been told that the soluble fiber acts like a sponge, soaking up bad cholesterol. But there is a growing chorus of modern cardiologists raising a red flag.
They are warning that this popular cereal is essentially a dessert in disguise.
A wolf in sheep's clothing that uses a massive dose of processed starch and sugar.
You are essentially taking a small dose of medicine wrapped in a large dose of poison.
In this comprehensive expose, we are going to dismantle the marketing myth of the heart-healthy cereal.
And stay with me. We will provide the ultimate heart-healthy breakfast protocol. Before we dive in, hit that button.
Part 1. The Sugar Bomb in Disguise. To understand why, we must first look at the ingredient label.
It is marketed as a whole grain food. But biologically, it sees a rapid injection of glucose.
A single serving contains nearly as much sugar as 3 Chips Ahoy cookies.
Starch is simply a long chain of glucose molecules held together.
When you eat whole intact oats, this takes time, meaning the sugar enters your bloodstream slowly.
However, the oats in breakfast cereal have been pulverized into a fine flour. The moment it mixes with the amylase enzyme, it turns into glucose.
When your blood sugar spikes, your pancreas releases a flood of insulin. Insulin is a storage hormone. High levels of insulin are inflammatory.
High insulin tells your liver to manufacture triglycerides, strongly linked to stroke.
You are trading a tiny reduction in one risk factor for a massive increase in 3 others.
You might be thinking, it is made of oats. Part 2. The extrusion process. Part 2. The extrusion process.
There is a fundamental difference between a raw oat and a cereal loop.
Manufacturers take a slurry of oat flour, sugar, water, and chemicals. Subject it to extreme heat and massive pressure inside a machine called an extruder. This process destroys the food matrix. The proteins are denatured. The fibers are pulverized. Blues? This turns the food into what researchers call an acellular carbohydrate.
It hits your system with the speed of a soda.
A high heat can create chemical byproducts, specifically acrylamide.
And advanced glycation end products, or AGEs.
AGEs act like glue in your body. They bind to the proteins in your artery walls,
making them stiff and brittle.
So that crunchy little loop is essentially a delivery vehicle for vascular stiffness.
There is an invisible ingredient, found in alarming quantities. Part 3.
Part 3. The glyphosate contamination.
That ingredient is glyphosate, the active ingredient in the weed killer Roundup.
Oats are a crop that is heavily treated with glyphosate. They use it as a desiccant, spraying the entire oat field right before the harvest. This means the oats are soaked in herbicide right before they are collected.
The Environmental Working Group found levels unsafe for children and vulnerable seniors.
Why does this matter? Glyphosate is a potent disruptor of the gut microbiome.
It acts as an antibiotic, killing the good bacteria in your intestines.
When you kill the good bacteria, leading to a condition called leaky gut. When your gut leaks, toxins enter your bloodstream, prompting a systemic immune response. This causes chronic, low-grade inflammation throughout the body.
Inflammation is the spark that lights the fire of heart disease. Cholesterol is just the fuel.
Bye for eating, Glatry.
If you look closely at the ingredient list. Part 4. The oxidized oil coating.
Part 4. The oxidized oil coating.
You will almost always find an oil listed, usually canola oil or corn oil.
The oil is sprayed onto the cereal to keep it crunchy and help sugar stick.
These are industrial seed oils, high in omega-6 fatty acids.
These oils are chemically unstable. When exposed to heat, they oxidize.
They incorporate themselves into your cell membranes and your LDL cholesterol particles.
The real danger is oxidized LDL. Oxidized LDL is what gets stuck in the artery walls, forming the foam cells that become plaque.
Manufacturers are essentially wrapping the sugar in a layer of inflammatory fat.
You are eating a product that promotes the rusting of your arteries.
But what about the vitamins? Part 5. The vitamin trap. Part 5. The vitamin trap. The box will boast about iron, B vitamins, and folic acid.
But for seniors, synthetic fortification can be a double-edged sword.
It is elemental iron, essentially microscopic metal filings.
Many seniors already have high iron stores because they are no longer losing blood.
Excess iron is a pro-oxidant, driving oxidative stress and aging.
Then look at folic acid. This is the synthetic form of folate. Many people with the MTHFR gene mutation cannot process synthetic folic acid.
It builds up in the blood unmetabolized.
Unmetabolized folic acid has been linked to suppression of the immune system.
And potentially masking B12 deficiency, a major cause of neurological decline.
You are getting a dose of cheap synthetic vitamins rather than natural nutrients. So how do they get away with the heart healthy label? Part 6. Part 6. The marketing lie.
This is a triumph of marketing. The FDA allows the claim based on a very narrow definition.
The soluble fiber in oats, beta-glucan, can indeed bind to some cholesterol in the gut.
It is like saying a cigarette is healthy because it has a filter.
The small reduction is completely overwhelmed by the damage caused by the sugar and the glyphosate. The American Heart Association also lends its check mark. But companies pay a fee to use that check mark.
Do not see it as a medical endorsement. See it as a paid advertisement.
There is a reason you cannot eat just one bowl. Part 7. The addiction engineering.
Part 7. The addiction engineering.
Food scientists have a term called the bliss point. This is the precise amount of sugar, salt, and crunch that overrides the brain's stop signals.
But the noise the cereal makes in your head is calibrated to release dopamine.
The sugar content is just high enough. The salt hidden in the sweetness enhances the flavor.
A serving size on the box is usually 3/4 of a cup. Most people pour 2 or 3 cups.
So you are getting triple the sugar, triple the inflammatory oil, and triple the glyphosate.
It digests in an hour, leaving you hungry and craving more sugar by mid-morning.
It traps you in a cycle of spikes and crashes.
One of the most dangerous consequences is the accumulation of visceral fat.
Part 8. The Visceral Fat Factory.
This is the hard fat stored deep inside your abdomen, around your liver and pancreas.
The liver gets overwhelmed. It converts the excess energy into fat.
Visceral fat is not just dead weight. It is metabolically active tissue. It acts like an alien organ.
It pumps out inflammatory cytokines that travel through your blood and attack your heart.
It releases free fatty acids that impair the liver's ability to manage insulin.
Having a belly is a stronger predictor of heart attack risk than high cholesterol.
By eating a high-sugar breakfast, you are feeding the visceral fat.
But it all steals from you. Part 9. The Nutrient Theft.
Part 9. The Nutrient Theft.
Grains, specifically oats, contain a compound called phytic acid, or phytates.
Phytic acid is an anti-nutrient. It binds to minerals, preventing you from absorbing them.
Magnesium is critical for heart health. It relaxes the arteries.
Zinc is critical for the immune system.
When you rely on grains, you are actually blocking the absorption of these vital minerals.
So even if the box says it is fortified,
Eating a food that actively blocks minerals is counterproductive. We have taken away the yellow box. Now we must fill the bowl. Part 10. The Breakfast Replacement Protocol.
We need a breakfast that is low in sugar, high in healthy fats, and rich in bioavailable protein.
Alternative 1, the savory scramble.
Eggs are the ultimate multivitamin, specifically the yolks.
Scramble 2 or 3 eggs with spinach and mushrooms. Cook them in grass-fed butter.
This meal keeps your insulin flat, providing steady energy for hours.
Alternative 2, the chia pudding. If you love a cold, spoonable breakfast.
Chia seeds are loaded with fiber and high in omega-3 fatty acids. Soak 3 tablespoons in unsweetened almond milk. Let it sit overnight. Top it with a handful of walnuts for brain health and a few berries.
It has the texture of pudding, but the nutritional profile of a superfood.
Alternative 3, the avocado boat.
Avocados are rich in potassium and monounsaturated fats, which protect the heart.
Cut an avocado in half. Fill the hole with something protein-rich, like cottage cheese. Sprinkle it with pumpkin seeds for magnesium.
This is a fast, easy breakfast that directly supports endothelial function.
conclusion, breaking the habit. The yellow box has been a part of our mornings for a long time. It feels safe. But science evolves. We now know the path to heart health is not paved with sugar. It is paved with real whole foods, proteins, fats, and vegetables. Breaking the cereal habit is one of the single most effective things to lower triglycerides.
Do not let the cotton bee fool you.
Your heart deserves better than a factory-made loop. It deserves real nutrition.
Make the switch tomorrow. Your arteries will thank you.
Now, I would love to hear from you. Have you been eating this cereal for years?
And if you have switched to a savory breakfast, what is your favorite recipe?
The more we share, the more we can break through the marketing noise.
If you found this video helpful, please leave a comment with 1.
If not, type 0. I value your honest feedback.
And do not forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content.
Dedicated to protecting your brain, your heart, and your future.
Thank you for watching and take care of yourself.